Are you fine if I mess up your counter weight? Michael's a good friend. He's a good friend.
Filming on the iPhone 15 Pro Max has easily become one of my favorite cameras to shoot with this year. And while we've talked a lot about how to upgrade your visuals with the iPhone, today I want to focus on upgrading your audio game. And I want to see, is the DJI Mic 2 the best way to do it? And by the way, how's the active noise cancellation? Because it is windy AF right now and also about 2 degrees. So yeah, I need to go. Let's go back in the studio. What I really like is the fact that it comes in a singular pouch. Unlike the Rode Wireless Pros, comes in 2 different pouches for the mics and the accessories. If you want to see a comparison between these two, give this video a like, and if it gets to say 100 likes, I'll make a quick video talking about the pros and cons of each of these and why you may want to choose one over the other. So taking a look at the charging case, it's pretty minimalistic. We have a charging port on the back, push the button, lift up. On the sides we have our 2 transmitters, which come in a clip style and have a magnet, which is super strong, dedicated on each of the back there, so we can just magnetize it to things. In the center we have our new receiver, and we also get 2 styles of attaching that receiver to a phone, either via USB Type-C or Lightning. Also, even though this video isn't sponsored, it is supported by all of you who buy my various guides, so if you're interested in learning more about those, check them out in the link below. So right now we're headed to Josh Yo's house. Figured I'd do an extreme wind test. We've got the Mic 2 with the receiver on the iPhone 15 Pro Max going in the Blackmagic camera app, the whole thing. And if that for some reason is clipped, I've got 32-bit float recording backup. My brain can't even think right now, I'm so cold. But I hear Josh is working on some pretty crazy stuff. He's gotten into 3D printing and building a bunch of stuff. And I think he's got something pretty cool for the DJI Mic 2 and the Ronin 4D. So let's go check it out.
All right, here we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, that is so satisfying. That button with the orange tentacle sync.
Cohesive.
Look at that, dude.
You gotta adapt this to other top handles, because everyone's gonna ask, how do you change the battery? Flipped up before. Ooh. No issue.
So what's great about this is that you can get time code now and a mic. That's what this allows.
And that's
you
only
to,
the expansion.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're interested in any of Josh's products, check him out in the link in the description. Every single Ronin 4D user should have that. And tag him and let him know in the comments below what other top handles he should adapt this design to. Audio is something that I definitely want to sound really good, but I don't personally want to spend a ton of time getting it there. Thankfully, a lot of the standout features of this mic make that pretty simple. So the whole system claims up to a 18-hour battery life that's got built-in noise cancellation, and personally, my favorite and my new standard of all audio recording devices that I get from here on out is 32-bit float. Now for those of you who don't know, the simple way to understand 32-bit float is the equivalent of shooting like RAW for photos and video. It gives you way more latitude in your editing to fix maybe a improper exposure or levels. So for example, I just hit the record button on right here. We can see the red light, and now I'm recording 32-bit float. So I can whisper like this and be super low volumes, but then in post, I can raise it up to make it sound and be equivalent to my normal talking voice. Or I can talk really, really loud and bring these levels down in post so that I'm not clipping my sound. It also apparently has a range of 250 meters or around 820 feet.
So we're doing a range test with the Mic 2. We want to find out, number 1, does broadcast mode stomp on the signal? Number 2, does the 2.4 gigahertz on this stomp on the signal, which is basically channel 2122? And then does auto mode stomp on it? All of those are problematic for the Mic 1. So if it works on the Mic 2, one of the biggest issues with this camera has been solved. Still fucking freezing out here. All right, so I have this thing powered off, by the way, and we're going 50 feet this way, forward facing, forward facing, forward facing, backwards, back turn, back turn, back turn, back turn, 50 feet away at the tree, back to back, back. So all the audio is clipped, which means I was just talking like directly in the microphone too loud. Had we done backup internal 32-bit float recording like we are Now we wouldn't have this problem, but this is just a range test, so sorry about all the pops. So auto mode, basically there was a couple of slight crackles. Other than that, even with back turned, significantly better than Mic 1. And I would say it's right on par with the Hollyland Lark Max, which I tested this last year and it did the best out of all of the wireless lavs. So really good. This is exactly what we need. Okay, so now we are in 2.4 gigahertz at power 40. So this is the strongest it's gonna get. I'm gonna set this right here, which is gonna simulate a director holding monitor, and we're gonna go back, turn, back, turn, back, turn, back, turn, back, turn, forward facing, forward facing, forward facing, forward facing. And I'm coming back, and I don't have gloves on, which means my fingers are gonna be frostbitten for sure. Okay, so for the second test with the 2.4 gigahertz, so we basically told the wireless transmission just to use 2.4 gigahertz only, which is the same frequency band as these lavs, and it performs the exact same as all of the other lavs. Basically, 2.4 will just eat it alive. It's unusable. But the good news is you have backup internal 32-bit float recording on this. So you just make sure that shit's red and you're good to go. And for the last test, just to see if you're using manual mode, we're now in auto mode, and we're on downlink bandwidth is still 40. Whatever, it's in auto. But the monitor is on, so this way, back to the camera. Back turn, back turn, back turn. Okay, all right, last test. Monitor is on, and we are in 20, and we're also at channel 17, which tested out as one of the better ones. This is the 5.8 gigahertz range, so this should be pretty good. All right, back turn, 50 feet, forward facing, forward facing, forward facing, forward facing, forward facing. Back turn, back turn, back turn, back turn, back turn, back turn. Forward facing, forward facing, forward facing. Damn, it broke apart still in auto mode, and it still broke apart in a little bit in 5.8 gigahertz. So without testing it more, I would want to make sure that this thing is updated. Have you updated it at all?
As soon as I got home, I realized my mics were indeed not updated past a older beta firmware. So let's take a look at one of Josh's tests using his Mic 2 that he had hooked up to the Osmo Pocket 3.
Now we're on auto mode, so this is going to switch between 2.4 and 5.8. Backward turn, back is turn, back is turn, back is turn, back is turn. Forward facing, 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 forward facing. Oh my God, it is so cold. That's it, I'm moving back to California. That's it, I can't handle it anymore. When I tested the lavalier with the Osmo Pocket, with the Osmo right next to it, so basically the receiver, it's not going into the camera, but it's right next to it, this tested outstanding.
Also, durability test. I don't have it on camera, but Josh did drop this from about 5 feet high, and there's really not a single scrape anywhere on it. Literally can't tell, so drop test approved. So obviously, if you want to hook this up to any normal camera, you use the cable that came in the pouch, and that's about it. But if you want to use this with your iPhone or any other phone out there, there's a lot of really cool features about this. So the first one is the new direct to Bluetooth connection. So this means you can just have a Mic 2 transmitter on hand. You don't need the receiver or anything else. And when you turn it on, you'll see green, which means it's going to look and connect to a receiver. But if you press and hold the record button for 3 seconds, you will see that green light change to blue. So since I want to connect this one, all I need to do is press and hold the pairing button, and we'll see that blue start to blink pretty quick. I'll see a new DJI mic down here below. Tap on that. And now we're connected. We have a solid blue line. So now I can jump into pretty much any of my favorite video capturing apps on the phone. Of course, the Blackmagic camera app is my current favorite. I go over to settings, go to audio and audio source. We can now see is the DJI mic. If I go back to my camera. Now, while this is ultra convenient, there are a couple cons that I'll talk about in a minute. But before we get to that, I need to show you the other way to set it up with your phone. The other way is by simply using the receiver. So first I'm going to take my mic and I'm going to put it back into the transmitter receiver mode. Just press and hold the record button again. 3 seconds, you'll see a change from blue back to green. And one thing I love about this setup, this has a little USB-C adapter that I can just place on the back. And now you have a receiver, a little USB-C port right up there. And it's incredibly convenient to just pop this on the bottom of the phone. And you have a very minimalist setup for the receiver. There's no cables, nothing is dangling, and all of your mics are going to work like normal. So I can monitor my audio in real time down here. If I launch the Blackmagic camera app again, I can see under audio, and now instead of just saying the DJI Mic, which is said during the Bluetooth, it says wireless microphone RX. So this is actually the receiver now. For some reason, there is a big audio quality difference between connecting the mic straight to Bluetooth and not using the receiver versus having the receiver plugged in and the mic connected to that. Take a listen to these audio samples. Mic test 1, 2, 3. This is the DJI Mic 2, just via Bluetooth directly to the iPhone with no receiver plugged in. Mic test 1, 2, 1, 2. This is the DJI Mic 2 with the receiver plugged into the iPhone, both recording in the Blackmagic camera app. Nothing else has changed. And finally, mic test 1, 2, 1, 2. This is what it sounds like when you take a lavalier cable, plug it into the Mic 2. Now, if you were really looking forward to just traveling around with one of these mics and not having the receiver, there's still a way that you can get the best quality possible. Connect the mic to your phone via Bluetooth. Don't use the receiver, but every time you record, just make sure you hit the record button on the mic itself. So now you have a 32-bit on-device recording backup that you can then offload onto your computer later on, sync them to the sound quality that you can hear just from the video file saved to your phone, and now you could have the best sound quality possible. I think for a lot of people just doing social media, they may not care about that sound quality difference, and I think just using the Bluetooth will probably sound fine for the majority of people. But let me know if you guys agree or disagree in the comments. Overall, these 32-bit Float Lav Pro setups have become some of my favorite audio setups for especially filming with the iPhone this year. So if you guys are interested in learning more or anything, check out DJI's links in the description below. If you're interested in seeing some crazy other accessories you can rig out your iPhone for better video, check out this video right here.